How much revenue did you do in November, this past month?
306,000.
If you go a year back from today, you were broke, you were sleeping on our friend Matt Epstein's couch.
I lost 35 grand, hadn't paid taxes yet, was not growing.
1 year can change your life.
I was like, if I just street interviewed every single day, the business couldn't fail. My first $500,000 of revenue I got to from less than $1,000.
You have to pick something and you have to commit and you have to be obsessed.
The barrier to entry was hustle and grit. Nobody copied me because no one wanted to go out there and do it.
There's a couple like big decisions you made this year that I think changed the trajectory of your business.
A big lesson I've learned in business is
there's a lot that I think people are going to be able to get out of this episode. You're a big burn the boats guy. I think there's some really unique stuff about your offer and why you've gotten like pulled into the market. But I think above all, you're just really likable, dude. You have this like endearing quality about you and people love you, dude. Like Sam Parr meets you and he loves you and he wants to put you on MFM. You have dinner with like Mr. Beast manager. You just have this kind of electric energy. And I want to break that down to the extent possible so people can get it and feel it.
Thank you.
But first, I want to talk about what Street Talk is. Before that, you just had your birthday.
Thank you.
Just turned 23.
Just turned 23.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I thought, Josh is a man of action.
You got me a gift?
He's a big burn the boats guy. And I thought,
give me
what
a boat?
better than to take a little action, at the start of this podcast.
Wow.
Close out 2025
Let's go.
with a couple stuff
I love it.
to kick us off.
The only thing it could have been different if it was a cocktail. Full 360.
Only yeah, 3 hours old, straight from the L train.
Oh yeah.
Cheers for you, man.
Cheers.
Love you, brother.
Love you
Cheers.
too, man. Cheers. Great year.
Ooh. All right. Ooh. What's Street Talk? How did you come up with the idea?
Street Talk is the largest unscripted and authentic creative ad agency in America. I always knew, like when I started this 2 years ago, I knew brands were media companies. There is the same way you're a media company, I'm a media company, a brand's a media company. And it's media and it's attention and it's content first. Besides making sure you have the best product, there's nothing else that matters except making sure everyone knows that you have a product. So I knew that. And I saw that short form content changed the world because now you could post a piece of content and it could get more views than Kim Kardashian's post. And now it's all about the creative. So instead of me trying to go be Mr. Beast or be Jake Paul and build the biggest personal brand, I thought, why not just turn brands into media companies and make ads for the internet's favorite content format, which is street interviews. So that was my thesis. I had never started an LLC. I had never started a business.
You didn't even know what LLC stood for.
I didn't know what an EIN number was. I didn't know what a 1099 was. I didn't know anything.
Still some of it a little murky.
Yeah. But what I did know was brands were media companies and that nothing will be more important to a brand than the content that they post.
And so you basically go, right? If I don't know anything about your business, you basically go, hey, like most ads, they're these actors, you can tell clearly they've been paid, they're reading off a fucking script and all this stuff. You go, no. Why don't I just show up to Washington Square Park, 90 degrees out? Don't worry, I'll bring some water.
Yeah.
Bring a big sleigh again of like e-commerce products. I'm going to interview random people on the street. I'm going to get their natural reactions. I don't need every reaction to be amazing. I think I can get 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. And that's going to be the most organic possible thing possible for a product. And I bet that's going to do really well for their ads.
Yes.
Fair?
Yes. And that nothing will create more trust with the person watching than a natural raw reaction. So it's like nothing's going to create more trust. The person watching that video, that street interview, is now getting educated in real time how the product works, what their value props are, and trusting that brand. I don't trust a post with Kendall Jenner. I know she's getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
Raw street interview reactions with the customer that looks like me, is my demographic that it looks like I'd be friends with.
Yeah.
I'm going to trust that person's opinion way more. And now you have to have an ad that doesn't look like an ad.
Yeah. And you can see the reaction. You put a little nasal strip on somebody, it opens up their thing and they go, whoa. The reaction is in the moment.
That's gonna crush way more than any influencer marketing or UGC that you're going to do. So that's why I did it.
Yeah. And so people go to you, they pay you for this, and they pay you what, $5,000, $6,000 for, 20, 30 videos, something like that.
That's what they started doing. Now it's 6 to 10K for a lot less videos, but more high quality videos.
Yeah.
So like
Because
way
you got a
more
wait list. Yeah.
Yeah. Way more intent behind each creative. But I started charging 2K for 30
Yeah.
videos. Yeah. And I would just go out there and I would just do it all day long. And the 30 videos took me like an hour to do. And then I would do, 5, 10 brands a day and then rinse, repeat 7 days a week every day.
Dude, tell the story of the origin of the company. Because so I basically asked you to send me a list of like, all right, let's reflect on 2025. And so I asked you like, send me your 3 best decisions of the year, top 3 tactics, top 3, we'll go through different stuff. You sent me 3 of your top people who influence you the most, who change your life the most. One of those people is Oliver. And I think a lot of people, they start companies and like they, over time, the narrative of like why you started it changes. A lot of people end up kind of going like, I had this big grand vision. I don't think you had a grand vision. I don't think people need a grand vision. I think a lot of it just came from you jamming with Oliver. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I was Oliver's first, employee.
Yeah.
And
so Oliver started a brand called
Tabs Chocolate. Yes.
Scaled that up, sold it for millions of dollars in his early 20s. And
Yes.
you were like his buddy, but also like his like team member.
Yes. I was a team member. I didn't know anything about e-commerce or UGC or advertising or anything. I was 18 years old. And he really wanted someone that he could trust, that he liked, that he wanted to be around. So he invited me down to Miami. And I still knew nothing and did a horrible job.
Yeah.
And but we became super, super good friends.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about each other.
We joked Oliver fired Josh, I think.
Yeah, Oliver did fire me. Oliver fired me twice. He also fired me as his screen reviewer. So he fired me twice, but still love him and like one of my best friends in the world. But no, he saw something in me. I went to go work a corporate job the next summer, and he was staying at my apartment in New York because he didn't have an apartment. And he would just tell me like, you have something special about you. You have the it factor, like you have like the sauce that you need to get out of corporate America, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so instead of taking a return offer at my corporate company, I was sleeping on Oliver's couch like the month leading up to that corporate job. This is the next summer.
Yeah.
And he asked me to start doing screen reviews for software at the time. And I thought, he was like, I'll give you $2,000 to go do 30 of these screen reviews for my software. And I was like, $2,000 for me to go talk to 30 people?
Yeah.
Take me.
Meanwhile, you're at like Syracuse, you've like never seen $2,000 in your life.
Literally, yeah. I'd never been paid $2,000 for anything. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, I was like, hell yeah. And he zelled it to me. It's like $2,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was my month's income at my corporate internship.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you just doing this because we're friends? Or I was like, why are you doing it? Because like, he's not one to just like throw away money. I was like, what's the value for you? I didn't really get it. Like, I didn't know what ad creatives were. I didn't know brands like spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on videos that make them millions of dollars. Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, like, this is my budget for creatives. I want to try screen reviews. And I went out and crushed it. And he still hated it. But he was like, bro, there's a big market like for ad creatives, for brands. Like, you should do this for other brands. And I put up a post on Twitter, just like DM'd a few people. They reached out. They signed up for like $1,000 or something. At the time, I was like, oh my God, $1,000.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, I get why they gave me $1,000.
You didn't have a big Twitter following. Did like Matt or Oliver help a
They
little bit?
both reposted me.
Yeah.
They both reposted it. And I had a couple people reach out and they're like, yeah, I'll give you $1,000 for like 10 trade reviews or something like that. And I was like, yeah. And then in the next like 3 days, I had like 2 or 3 people do that. And I was like $3,000 plus Oliver's $2,000. It was like $5,000. And that was more money than I was going to make, in like 6 or 7 weeks of my internship. That I was getting paid like $16 an hour for or something. And I was like, okay, if I could just find like 4 or 5 more brands this summer, I'd make more money. And I was like, how many other brands can I get to do this? How many? And I was like, every brand in the world would want stream. I was like, I started talking to more people about it and like more brands and more sales calls, and I kept closing them. And I was like, how many brands are out there? And then I was like Googling, I was like looking up if anyone else was doing this. I'm like, no one's doing this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm in the best city in the world for this, New York City. And like, no one's doing it in New York City. And I'm like, if I just like went really hard at this and just did this every day, like there's just no way it would fail, because unless brands stop wanting content, how would, or I, if I get run over by a train, like
Yeah.
I just didn't see like how it could fail. It's like
Yeah.
a white belt business. Like,
Yeah.
you pay me, I go give you content. And I was like, if I just go really hard at this, I could probably get 30 brands or 40 brands. And yeah.
The internship was with Blade, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's a very like burn the boats thing to kind of go like, all right, like I got this sure thing, like I'm just gonna quit. And because you end up like dropping out basically, right? As well. And that's like, in retrospect, it was the obvious thing to do. At the time, like I imagine it's like kind of tough. And I think that there are like the first part of like starting a business before we get to like the offer and all this stuff and why it's a really good offer and like why you're the perfect guy for this offer. The first step is like believing it's possible, right? And I think that believing it's possible generally comes from like you've seen somebody, you know somebody in your life who succeeded before and therefore you believe it's possible, or you meander into Alex Hormozi conjures somebody else and you indoctrinate yourself with enough of that content where you believe, right, they're saying it's possible. I believe it's possible, but you have to get to it one of those two ways. I think you got to it a lot through Oliver.
100%.
You did not do a good job with the street interviews and Oliver's words, but he told you to, he was like, dude, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Do this.
Yeah.
Why do you think he
also
said that? And what did that mean to you?
He also, it meant everything. And I really didn't, like, I'm super ADD. Like, I've learning disabilities. I was in special ed. Like, I always knew I wanted to be successful and I wanted to be an entertainer. Like, I used to be a magician. And I
The first time I met Josh, by the way, or the second time, we had a cocktail thing and you did card tricks. And for our whole group was like, oh my God, dude, Josh is running around. He's so good. You like had the whole, everybody was watching you. We stopped what we were doing. Everybody was like on you. It was amazing. You're
They did. So I always like just loved people and loved entertaining. And yeah, it was always my favorite thing to do. And I couldn't like sit down and I couldn't take notes and like do school. But I knew I had something.
Yeah.
And there was this thing that I was getting paid money for to go do something that I like to do.
Yeah.
And it was just go talk to people. And I used to walk around and do card tricks for people. And I used to be a tennis coach. Like I just loved doing that. And I was like, Oliver's a tough critic. I was like, I bet there's people that would like to do this. And he believed, and he was like, dude, you should not go do corporate America. You should push yourself.
Yeah.
And what's the worst that's going to happen? So that was to quit the internship. That summer, I ended up making like about $140,000 doing it
in 3 months.
In 3 months.
It's crazy.
I saved 90,000 of it, so like almost all profit. And
where'd the 50 go?
I spent money.
It's a separate podcast.
Yeah, it's a separate podcast. I left like ended August like $94,000 my checking account.
Yeah.
So I literally went from like 0 to like 100K saved in like a few months. And I was like, because basically, I just jumped a lot of it, but I quit my internship, went all in every single day, went to Washington Square Park, posted selfies of me doing street interviews on Twitter, tagging consumer brands, doing the street interviews, sending it to them, posting the street interviews on my Twitter. Twitter is home to like all the e-commerce founders. It's home to the e-com community. And it's home to like every single D2C brand owner. And Matt and Oliver are followed by a lot of them. So they'd repost me on their Twitter. And there's absolutely no one doing this. There's no competition.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. Like if you want to go start a creative ad agency, you want to go start a media buying agency, it'd be like you're driving in bumper to bumper traffic. I had a wide open freeway. And the barrier to entry was hustle and grit. And like no matter how loud I screamed, no matter how many people told how much money I was making, like nobody copied me because no one wanted to go out there and do it. And I set up a website, I set up a calendar link where you could book a call.
Yeah.
And I would just post on Twitter, I'm the best street reviewer in the world. I'm out here streaming for snow teeth whitening, book a call. And I would just do it every single day. And then people started booking calls and booking calls and booking calls. And then to go even more viral, I would go to like a grocery store and I would get like Snapple, or I'd get like Dove.
Yeah.
And I'd post like, about a guy here do street reviews for Dove. And then people would freak out. But like 15 soap brands would book a call. I'd be like, oh, he's doing it for Dove. You guys got to do it for us. And then I would take their brand and post something. And then all of a sudden, everyone starts seeing me posting with brands. And like, oh, this kid's the street reviewer for brands guy. And it just, it crushed.
Dude, Sam Parr did a very similar thing for one of the first ads for The Hustle. He put an ad for Ford, and there was no Ford ad.
Yeah.
But it pulled people out of the woodwork. Like, oh, dude, Ford sponsoring? All right, I think I'm going to book a call.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple really cool things that you've said. So thing number one, the concentration of who you reach on Twitter is pretty amazing. So you have now you have like 3,000 followers, but at the time you had 1.6, 1.7. Like, so it was something very, very low.
I had less than 1,000 followers for the first year.
Yeah. Okay.
I had like 400, 500 followers for the first year. My first $500,000 of revenue I got to from less than 1,000 followers.
Yeah, which is wild to me. And like I've talked about this with multiple people. I was talking to Max Sturdivant the other day, and he's got like whatever 100,000 on Instagram, whatever. And both like, dude, how the fuck? Like you'll post a photo in like your apartment with like a new outfit and be like, just got a new outfit. I'm ready to go on some dates. 5 book calls.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, dude, I'm out here like scripting shit. I'm doing, like, it's really cool. So that's like thing one. I want to dig into that a little bit. But I think the other thing to your point about not being in bumper to bumper traffic. So, you had a very good offer. And I think there's like a huge lesson to be learned in taking simple ideas very seriously. So I don't know if you remember this, but maybe 2 or 3 or 4 months after we first met, I told you about this guy, Jason Levin from Twitter, who has 30 or 40,000 followers or something and was doing street interviews probably 9 months, 10 months before you were. We hired him. We paid him like $3 or $4 grand for street interviews. And I don't know what happened. I think he chased another idea. The SaaS idea is fine. The company's doing well, his other thing. But like he just wasn't all in. And he just got bored and he stopped doing it. And now your business is run rate well over $3 million. Like to me, it's just you have to pick something and you have to commit and you have to be obsessed.
You have to be 100%, but that's like the obvious. I think what's even one step further is just extra niche. Like it's such a niche offer. Like we make the best piece of bacon. How many people order bacon? Or put bacon on a bacon, egg, and cheese. Put bacon in your eggs. Or maybe you put bacon. Like you have bacon 15 different ways. You need content as a brand for ads, for organic, for to put as a hook stop in your UGC.
Yeah.
Like
e-com, SaaS,
everyone needs street reviews.
Yeah.
And if you run an ad, you can use street reviews. And so we just you need content, right? And then there's all these different, niches of content. Like, do we want founder content, VSL, unboxing? And I just picked one niche that had a really big moat around it that it was not easily done, or people thought it's easily done, but no one wanted to do it. Everyone else would rather make a script and send to UGC creator to hold. And then take it super, super seriously. And then this is where the luck comes in. Have the niche appreciate in value. So like when I started a year and a half ago, I had to tell brands that you should probably put this in your ad account to run as an ad.
Yeah.
People like back then it used to be a very high scripted, really hard direct response ad. You couldn't just there was no ad diversity wasn't as big. It wasn't just organic content that crushed an ad accounts. Like that became more and more the trend as the algorithm changed, and the algorithm changed as into craving my ad format.
Yeah.
And that's where the luck came in.
I think the last thing about your offer that works really well. So just recap, right? Step 1 is you have to believe it's possible. Step 2 is you have to obsess and commit to it. Step 3 is you have to niche down. I think actually an extension of what you're saying is you have what is effectively a productized service. So most people, if you're Matt, who runs an e-commerce paid ads agency, if you're me, I run a newsletter growth agency, we go to somebody and we have to generally take a client from somebody else. I have to convince you why you should stop the agency you're currently doing and spend money on me instead. And there's a huge amount of risk to that offer, right? So like a great offer is like there's a big dream outcome, there's a high perceived likelihood of achievement. And on the bottom, there's like time delay. And then there's like, okay, do I have to stop doing things that I like doing or start doing things that I don't want to do? And that like really blows up the bottom side of the equation, which, kind of brings like the value down. It's harder. Your thing slots extremely nice. So you could have 5 agencies and still need street interviews. Have you thought about that? Like, have you gotten feedback on that before? Because I think you can just clear the way in like basically any ad account.
Yeah. I mean, that was the other thing too, is the reason people said no was never because they didn't want it.
Yeah.
Or because the reason people said no was it just wasn't the right time or a budget thing or something like that. But the sales process was never, this is why I'm better than your UGC agency or better than your in-house creators, or like, I wasn't trying to compete against anyone else. I was just trying to convince you, oh, have you done street reviews? Why haven't you? Do you want to try it? Way easier of a yes. And then on top of that, I went with no retainer.
Yeah.
So I just made like the easiest offer ever. 3K, no retainer, test it out, try it out, no risk.
Yeah.
So it was like absolutely no risk, totally differentiated offer. No one else doing it, no competition, and a no-brainer product service that every consumer brand would want.
Yeah. I like it.
So then that allowed me to move super quickly. So I moved with such speed. It was super referable. Everyone was talking about it. If you wanted stream views, you'd have to go to like a big agency that would cost you $15,000. And like, no, it just didn't really exist.
Yeah.
And there's this kid in the t-shirt in Washington Square Park who you could pay a couple grand to. He'll edit it for you. He'll give it to you. And it was good.
Yeah. The way that you sell is really interesting. So I want to talk about that. So the typical way is that you you book a sales call, which you still do, but you show up and like, I'm on my sales calls. I'm on my nice camera, I look good and, everything. Like I put on, something that looks fine. You're like running around. You're like on the West Side Highway, like taking calls. And the way you do sales, dude, is really interesting. So here's what I want to talk about. The first time that I heard a story from you, it was like, wow, this guy is getting in the room. Like a room that maybe shouldn't be in. I don't even know how I would do that in the way that Josh is. You went to some ecom conference, and what's the name of the guy who does Cheers? That brand?
Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks. I just remember you like walked up to him or something, and you like closed that brand. Like, how did you get at that? How did you know to go to that conference? How did you find him? And what did you say to him that made him want to work with you?
And I'll tell you one step further. Not only did he work with me, he shouted me on his LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And generated me like $50,000.
Dude, I forgot about this. So this is the other, I don't know how you still do it a decent amount.
Yeah.
But in the very beginning, you would do, I feel like either free or discounted work with people where they would just love it so much, where you get huge people in e-com to shout you out. That'd be like part of the conditions.
Yeah.
And that helps spread you because you had this huge social proof from like e-com juggernauts. It would just, dissipate like out into the world.
Yeah. Aaron from Breeze.
Yeah.
Just like D2C influencers. I would treat myself if I was like a brand paying an influencer for a tweet. Or for an Instagram post. I was a product. I'd want to pay a D2C influencer, like a lot of these brand founders or influencers on Twitter.
Yeah.
For a post to my agency, to my service.
Yeah.
And I would do free work, and I'd make them love me, and I'd get their phone number.
Yeah.
And I would call them. I would FaceTime them while I was filming, and there's just no other agency in the world doing that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any different. I never worked at an agency. I didn't know what an agency was. I didn't know how you're supposed to be professional.
Yeah.
I was just super authentic. I would take all the calls from Washington Square Park. It's like literally sitting there. I'd walk around and be, what's up, man? How you doing? I'm out here. You want the street reviews? And it crushed. No one said no. Yeah. You're like, fuck yeah, dude. Where do I send the ad? Where do I send it?
Yeah, send this track.
Yeah. Then I would just go, I didn't even know how to send an invoice for the first like 6 months, guys. I would just send like a checkout link. I'd like type in whatever number we said.
So if like Matt had to, our buddy Matt Epstein, who runs a company called Shown, he had to like tell you like, what's Slack? Like,
I didn't know
Slack.
I was texting. I had my first like 30 clients without Slack or email or anything.
Yeah.
Just like on text.
It's great.
Yeah.
People would order, it's like texting your drug dealer.
Yeah.
Basically.
They text me where my street reviews. I would text them the link to the Google Drive. And yeah, that's I try. And it was referrals. Like then Aaron would send me to his friends and then their friends, because they're all his friends, founders are friends with founders, brand owners are friends with brand owners.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that and I'm going 2 lessons. So lesson number 1 is trade money for distribution in the beginning, especially like distribution and social proof from like people who are well-known, who have personal brands in your industry. And the other one is like break people's frame. Like, there's dozens of agencies that'll do an onboarding call and walk you through the onboarding deck. And here's what the first 30 days are going to look like. But nobody's going to fucking call you from Washington Square Park, in like a t-shirt, like, drenched in sweat, like while they're recording their street interviews. And so you just go, wow, like who am I going to remember? The first 12 agencies that like did the onboarding call, or the 13th one who called me. Yeah. That's what I think about.
That and authenticity.
Yeah.
Like a big, like I really leaned into this is me. And like, this is Josh. What you see is what you get. How I am on Twitter, how I am on LinkedIn, it's how I am in real life. I'm super high energy. I'm super enthusiastic about what I'm building. And the product that I was doing takes a psycho-like energy. Like you have to run around New York City like a madman to talk to strangers and be entertaining. And I productized myself. Like, that was a skill set that I was really good at, when normal business skill sets I was really bad at. Organization, structure, systems, hiring, like all of what a normal founder had to learn to get off the ground. I just blew past. I learned how to productize myself and then market myself.
So I have a little secret, which is that I'm not really a podcast host. My main thing is an agency. I started an agency called The Feed. We got to about $1 million of ARR in about 10 and a half months, which is very fast. The reason I did that is because I had a newsletter. Now, most people think of newsletters as like the Wall Street Journal or the Morning Brew, but I think the secret to newsletters is that they're basically just marketing emails that your readers actually want to open. And you can use them to promote events, courses, communities, coaching programs, SaaS, agencies, anything you want. And I was able to launch mine with no design skills, no writing skills, because of a platform called Beehive. Beehive is awesome. They made newsletters possible for marketing and basically all kinds of non-tech people like me. You can spin up your newsletter, write your first edition, get your first subscribers, start selling ads within just a couple of hours. And you can try it for free. They literally do not charge you if you have under 2,500 subscribers, which is probably going to be most people listening to this. And so if you want to give it a shot, go to beehive.com or check the link out in the description. Let's get back to the episode. So I want to go back. Cheers, guy. You show up to this conference, this event. You walk up to him. What's going through your head about how are you mapping out, like, I'm going to approach this guy, I'm going to say X, Y, and Z. And what was the first thing you said? Do you remember?
Yeah, so he had done street interviews before. Like I'd seen him do street interviews for his brand. And I know they crushed. I kept getting served them. Didn't think about anything. Didn't think about what to say. I was at it was called Expo West. It was a consumer brand trade show in Anaheim, California. And I was there because the week prior, I was supposed to launch a street interview course about how to do street interviews for brands. People would then pay me for the course, $2,800.
In theory.
And then, in theory, no one bought it. And I would then give them my course about how to do street interviews for brands and then connect them to my clients. And then they would be an employee from my agency. Yeah. And I was like, this is how I'm going to make money. Like, I don't want to be the guy doing the street interviews. I'm the guy telling people that they're like, sell the shovel, not the goal.
You saw like Creators Corner.
The Creators Corner,
Jimmy,
yeah.
You're
that's
like,
what
I
I'm
want to
do
do this. Yeah.
So the person I was doing it with got shut down, got investigated by the FTC.
Not because of what you're doing.
Not because we were doing. His prior,
It's like you buy a house and then you like take down one of the walls and you see what's underneath the walls. You go, oh man, I'm glad I didn't buy this house.
Yeah, basically, before we launched, the partner that I was supposed to launch with ended up getting investigated for his previous business venture. And I was like, fuck, like I can't go into business with him now.
How much money did you lose on that?
I was $35,000.
$35,000.
Of my 7 months into my first business. That was a huge hit to my net worth.
Yeah. What was going through your head when you realized I'm not going to get this back?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
The only thing I was going through my head was how do I get more clients from my agency? Because my agency was down to about 20K a month. I had one street interviewer who was doing the street interviews. And I was not growing. It was like going like this because all my time and energy was going to the course. And I was 2 months out of dropping out of college. I hadn't paid taxes yet. I lost $35,000. I had I had like $40,000 left in my bank account. So having to pay taxes and no MRR, no retainer brands, pretty much 100% churn.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you won't make money unless you sell
Unless
more.
I sell another brand. Like, there's no business. I was basically freelancing. and having someone else do the freelance work.
Yeah.
And there's no systems. I had one editor. This was in January of this year. Which is wild. Yeah.
You seemed fine at that first dinner. You were hiding it well.
Yeah, I was hiding it well. That was in January. And then my roommate was like, "Yo, the XOS is happening. It's every consumer brand founder. You should go." And because I was pacing up and down. I was like, "All right, well, I want to go back to college. What do I do?"
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, well, how do I find brands? Like, I need brands like now, not like on Twitter booking sales call for 3 weeks." Like I was like, I need tonight. I need brands. So the next morning was XOS. It was like 4-hour drive away from where I was. I was in LA. It was like in Anaheim. It was like 3 hours away or something.
Yeah.
Rented a car, drove there, faked a pass. The pass was $5,000 and I didn't have $5,000 to spend to get inside.
What did you fake the pass?
I screenshotted one that looked like it, took a lanyard, put it in. No one stopped me.
Dude, that's awesome.
Faked it, walked in. I didn't have $5,000 to burn on it.
Just did this at our gym. We like co-work at a gym, and you didn't pay for like 6 months.
Yeah. What's going on, guys?
It's you, Maria. Hey, Maria. Yeah.
I just faked a pass, walked in. First person I see is Brooks, and I'd seen his stream views for his brand. Walked right up, introduced myself, and was like, "Hey, I'm inspired by you. I love what you do. I'm Josh. I just dropped out of college 4 months ago. Started a streaming business. I've seen you doing streaming for your brand, and I think this is gonna be the biggest ad format in the world." And he loved it. And he brought his cameraman over, and he mic'd me up, and he was like, "Tell a story for my LinkedIn."
Yeah.
So I just fired up his LinkedIn. I was like, "I dropped out of college. I slept on couches. I run around New York City every day. And I talked to thousands of people a day about consumer brands." And he loved it. That went live on his LinkedIn the next morning. Sales calendar is booked for 2 weeks.
Dude, 99 out of 100 people would not have, 90 out of 100 would not have approached him. And then like of the two that did, one of them would have just messed it up and like, been overly formal or whatever. Like, how do you come in with that kind of like bravado? Because you did it. I remember we were at a thing. So you just gave me like a shit, I'm fucked moment. We went to this thing that Sam Parr threw called Shit, I'm Fucked. And you went in, passed everybody right up to Sam and just immediately started talking. Because most people would like talk a little bit, see Sam, run over a little bit. Like you're very good about just, you lock on what you want and then you go up and you talk to that person. Where does that come from, and what's your advice for doing that?
Thank you. I grew up being a magician. Like I've always been an extrovert and very outgoing.
Yeah.
And
step 5 is starting a business, be a magician.
Yeah, be a magician is step 1. And I really learned how to build relationships and to be likable and be EQ focused. And because it's a skill. Like it's a skill the same way writing is a skill, or reading is a skill, or math. Like it's a skill. Networking, relationship building is a skill. And in my opinion, it's the most valuable skill because you can cut the line for a lot of just life problems by knowing someone.
What are one or two things that you do? So there's like, I like copywriting. I think everybody should know copywriting, but there's a difference between like, hey, I think you should know copywriting, and like, here are 2 or 3 principles of copywriting that will serve you when you write. What are the principles of like being a magician that let you go up to somebody like that and immediately build a relationship?
Comes with self-esteem and confidence are the 2 things.
Yeah.
So how to have a high self-esteem is to be proud of yourself when you look in the mirror and to love yourself. So that comes from doing what you say you're going to do. And that comes from being a person that you're proud of. So I think why most people can't do it is most people aren't proud of themselves. Most people aren't confident because they've never taken action towards something that they've wanted and achieving it. And that, whether that's making your bed or cooking a good meal for your wife or do it, whatever it is, as small as it is, that feeling of accomplishment compounds and compounds and compounds. And you give yourself like a foundation, like, oh, I can think to do something tell myself to do something, achieve something. And for me, like that was learning card tricks. Like I would stay up all night long and learn card tricks. Like I never, no one, no one was born knowing anything. Like I would sit there, I'd learn the sleight of hand, learn the double lifts, the trick, and I'd be like, okay, I want to learn this trick tonight, and I just wouldn't go to sleep until I learned that trick. And then the next day, I would do that trick for someone, and they would love it, and it was like instant gratification. And I was like, whoa, like I can learn this thing and then get that emotion from someone. They can tell me how much they love it, and I can learn a more complex trick, and then add onto it. And then they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you're so good!" And it was like I could get like people love validation, especially when you're like young and developing. Like they love being validated. And I learned that skill set of teaching myself. And I think a lot of success is pattern recognition, and the same way card tricks is pattern recognition, like making you look at my eyes when I do the flip, or making you pick the card. Like that's all just pattern recognition, knowing where to put my fingers, where to put my shoulders, when to talk versus when to look down. That's just pattern recognition. You develop that. It's the same with energy and translating energy and knowing how to read your energy and read your body language and read your backstory. Are you someone that's really outgoing, confident? Should I come in hot and match your energy? Should I be more low key? Like that all comes from just recognizing it over and over and over again and being very aware of what you're doing and why you're doing it and how people are going to respond to it.
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from.
Believe that you can do it. Believe that you are somebody who's like worthy of being spoken to or speaking with.
And the other thing is no one knows anything and no one judges you.
Yeah.
That's like the final thing, but everyone says that. But the person that the person that thinks they can and thinks they can't is right.
Yeah.
Like the delusional optimism is the only way to live life. And I believe that everything is happening for me to become the version of myself that I see in my future.
Yeah.
Like I picked from a very young age, like this is a life. I wanted to live a big life. I wanted to impact people. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to, I was very set on I would watch Jesse Isler and Jake Paul. Like, I'd watch these like big personalities and had a big life, inspired people and changed the world. I knew I wanted to do that. And then just every micro action and every day was just me learning and learning the patterns of what it would take to become that person.
Yeah, I like that. So it doesn't matter like what the other person's reaction was going to be, good or bad. Like you believe it's going to be good. It doesn't matter. You know, you kind of talk as if like the world is conspiring like in your favor.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if that's true or not. In fact, it doesn't matter at all what ideas are true. It matters what ideas serve you.
Nothing.
And that
what's
idea
true? What is true?
Yeah, it serves you in that moment to be there and to be present.
If I believe it's true, it's true.
Yeah.
And like if I believe that I own the largest streaming agency in America, time just hasn't caught up with me yet. I do.
Yeah.
And like I believed it. I believed it in college before I dropped out. I had the biggest streaming company in the world. Time hasn't caught up with me yet.
Yeah.
Time's starting to catch up with me now. But now my vision is 10 times more. I have X, Y, and Z. Time just hasn't caught up with that version of Josh yet. But that version of Josh exists right here. And everything is playing into me becoming that version of Josh that exists. Whether that's good, bad, it's just another script in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. What else is in your like, you sent me some like tactics for how you get clients, right? And you have connect, be the connector. You have show up, every dinner, event, meeting, be authentic. And so far we've talked about like the strategy of your Twitter, posting you just running around the street, FaceTiming clients where you're out in the field, getting people who have personal brands to retweet you, showing up to an event like Expo West and going right up to like one of the main guys. What else should we know about that playbook that let you make so much money so fast?
Just provide value. I would say it's the big thing. Like I never asked for referrals. I never asked people to send me to their friends. Like unless it was like, hey, can I do free work for a shout out or something like that? But for the getting put into group chats with other people just did that because they liked me and they wanted to help me. I would just say add value, add value, add value. And for the people that it's hard to add value to, find ways to add value. So for me, I always saw what I was doing is like selling a baguette to a billionaire.
Yeah.
Like they need bread somehow. They're going to get bread some way. I want to be the person that sold them the bread.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter about the bread. But now I know the billionaire. And that's how I always viewed this. I was like, I'm going to sell content to Breeze. They can get content from anywhere. They could find another streamer guy. I'm going to be the best streamer guy, and then I'm going to make them love me.
Yeah.
And by that relationship with Aaron is worth way more than $3,000 that I didn't have to pay for. I got paid to have a relationship with Aaron.
Yeah.
I now got paid to have a relationship with Zach Stuck or Sean Frank or any of these multimillionaire, billionaire brand owners. I'm getting paid to now be friends with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fuck. Everyone's like, raise your prices, do retainer, do. I'm like, no, I'm getting in the room, being invited to hang out with the most successful brand founders in the world. Like, and getting paid for it.
Yeah. Do you know, I remember one of the first clients I ever had was this guy, Jesse Puggi.
Yeah.
And he's become a good friend. He's become a good mentor. And like the first work we ever did together, it wasn't even related to newsletters. I happened to be on a call with him about newsletters, but I like helped him make a deck for his mentors companies he's going out to present. And I just, he wanted me to come to St. Louis. I'd never met him. We had one phone call. And I was like, all right, I'll get on a plane. I'll be there tomorrow. And we did the deck. We were so, Jesse's had multiple 8-figure companies that we got to spend so much time together. We got to know each other. And I lost money on that because I did the deck and I'd pay somebody overnight in like the Philippines. So I would do the deck the whole day because it was a huge deck. And then they would work on it. And then I'd pick it up in the morning. I'd give it back to them back and forth for like 7 days to get this thing done. And I think there's just so much value in the beginning of like, don't worry about the money. The money will come. Like focus on how do you, to your point, provide so much value? How do you be so unbelievably good that people are just compelled to help you?
Yeah. And that's what I did really well. And that's why I try to explain to people trying to start their first service business. It's like, it's not, I have a friend that tries to start a service business right now. It's like, I want to charge them $30,000. I can charge $40,000. I'm like, bro, like, it's not about the $30,000. Like, get in the door with them.
Yeah.
Over promise, over deliver, do the best thing possible. Like the $30,000 is like, will be like a day's work.
Yeah. So I think the episode that you were listening to right now could make you $1 million. And I believe that. The reason I believe that is because your content diet, the YouTube videos you watch, the podcasts you listen to is the highest leverage thing that you can do for yourself. I became a millionaire in my early 20s. And frankly, it had very little to do with me. It had everything to do with the fact that you and I live in a crazy lucky time where founders like this hop in these podcasts and they share everything that they know for free. And so that's what I do. I talk to founders who do millions of dollars and I talk to them about their financials, their funnels, and their feelings, the mindset that got them to where they are. And so if you're building something or you're thinking about building something, I want you to do something for yourself. Forget me, which is I want you to hit the subscribe button on this podcast. I'm going to write down the ideas you're hearing and I want you to get to work. Back to the pod. You sent over some shit I'm fucked moments. I want to go through a couple of these. You had one employee at one point, and then they quit. Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. When was that? And
well,
what was going through your head when
they
that
didn't
happened?
quit. They threatened to quit.
Okay.
They didn't actually quit. But so a big lesson I've learned in business is it's why it's important to not have all the weight on a few people. Because if one of them leaves, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And as soon as you have someone that is like doing the job, you can't be like, because they now see their leverage. And if they now see you're and they're holding it, they know they can just drop it and now they have the leverage. So it needs to be an even disperse of leverage among everyone. So I had one editor and one filmer and like 70 active clients.
Yeah.
And if the editor left, I was screwed. And if my filmer failed, they're screwed because then I would have to go do all of it. And my time then couldn't be training and finding people. It was doing it and editing it.
Yeah.
So my editor is a gem. He's in Croatia. His name's Kamika. He's 20 years old. He was 19 when he started with me. He dropped out of college with me. And I love him. And
this guy is ride or die, Josh Suggs.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
This guy would be here in the morning if I called him. He just edited my launch video for Street Talk for free.
Yeah.
Just because he loves me.
Yeah.
I love him. And yeah, I mean, he was telling me how burnt out he was. I mean, he was editing 20 ads a day every day for over a year. And I would say I was streaming every day. He was editing every day. We were both just like, we didn't know what planet we were on. We were so exhausted. Like we were so behind on clients. We were churning clients. And we were like, fuck, like how do we get out of this mud?
You took on too much without hiring.
Oh yeah. Took on way too much without hiring.
Yeah.
I was like, I can do it all myself. And then it got cold in the winter. I had nowhere to stay. I was still couch surfing. I had like just buckets of like brands that were so disorganized. I didn't know who was active, who wasn't active.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck. Like I didn't have any systems. I didn't have a business. I had a group chat with a brand owner. I had no idea how many videos I even promised them.
Yeah.
How many videos we had done versus we hadn't done. It was just such a mess. And I didn't make any money unless I sold the new person, and no one else was re-signing. It was such a shit show.
Yeah.
That's why I merged with Luke.
So dude, let's talk about that. You got some other shit on moments I want to get to, but there's a couple like big decisions you made this year that I think changed the trajectory of your business. One is getting a business partner.
Yep.
You're the man. I love you. You're great, but you're so fucking disorganized.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's really liberating because like if somebody's listening to this or watching this, like you don't have to do it all. Like you can realize, oh, is there shit I'm really bad at? Oh, okay. Maybe I should find somebody who's like really good at those things.
Yeah.
And so
have a left hand and a right hand.
Yeah. Tell me the story of meeting Luke and how do you, giving half of your business to somebody, combining with somebody, it's a huge deal. Walking me through that process and like, let's walk through. And I want to go through like, what do you think went well? What do you wish you would have known beforehand, if anything? But let's talk about that.
First, I mean, I got so blessed so many times. Luke was one of them.
Yeah.
Luke had been running his agency for a few years, 27 years old, with an MBA, very organized, diligent.
He's got an MBA? I didn't know
He's got an MBA.
All right, Luke, let's go. Yeah.
Very organized, system, like just an operator.
Yeah.
Like can manage people well, very smart, diligent, but wasn't growing.
Yeah.
Right? Like the business wasn't growing. He was in Missouri. It was having, he got it up to like, I think like $1 million run rate at one point. But, he was really pounding his head against the computer, being like, how do I get customers?
He's making TikToks and stuff.
He's just making TikToks all day. He hates making TikToks. He hates making content. He's not a content creator. He doesn't love it.
Yeah.
And I had a sales call every hour of every day. But I had no business review. Yeah. And Matt introduced us in end of last year. And we sparked out the conversation, like what we were both doing around the same money. I was just signing new money every single month.
Yeah.
But we were about the same size, and I had bigger brand names, and he had a way better team. And we were like, what if we just came together, plugged your team into my shit show, your business into my shit show, your brain into sourcing street reviewers and training street reviewers and finding editors, plugging in editors and like building a business around me, around the offer, and let me just go sell and grow. And that's exactly what we did. And we went from, I was doing $40K a month and he was doing $45K a month. And we combined and we did less than 90 because we both had churn, and we did like 80 something. And then, within 6 months we're past 300,000 a month.
Yeah. You, okay. So as someone like ideally find a co-founder who like excels in your weaknesses. What were there things that you asked? It's marriage too.
It is marriage.
What are you asking somebody
to
to go and say, I'm going to put a ring on it? Like, what were you, I get it. Like he's good at skills that you're not as good at, but I mean, there's gotta be more than that. I mean, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal for me. I didn't think of it as a big deal. For me, it was a life vest. It was like, I had no other option. Like, what was it? I was just going to sit there and be like a year behind. And I was signing more brands that I was delivering every month.
There wasn't a ton of diligence. It was like, dude, if I don't do this,
I'm pretty
like,
fucked.
I'm done.
Yeah. And for him, there was a lot more diligence on his side, but I loved what I was doing. I was super passionate about it.
Yeah.
I was screaming from the top of my lungs. It's the biggest opportunity ever to build an agency around. There's no one doing it, and every brand wants it, and there's no one doing it. And I'm being bombarded by the biggest brands in the world for this thing. I just need someone that's run a business before.
Yeah.
And that has seen it and done it and can put systems in. And this will be huge. And he hated what he was doing. He wasn't growing. He was bored. He was in Missouri. He was looking for an opportunity to hit the next level of business. And I just told him, I was like, listen, I'm 21 years old. I just dropped out of college. I'll die for this.
Yeah.
Like, I'll die for it. I will wake up every day and I will run through walls and I'll call and I'll dial and I'll show up at every event. Like, you'll not have a partner that will hustle harder, work harder, and just put more effort in to grow the business than I will. And that's exactly what happened.
Did he believe you immediately? Was he skeptical about anything at first?
He's skeptical about me being disorganized and a lunatic and just had never run a business before.
Yeah.
But I was literally carrying, suitcases of consumer brands in the winter of New York around New York City every single day walking through. Like, he knew, like, I was a dog.
Yeah.
And, like, if he just could put some systems around me and some organization and some infrastructure, I wasn't going to be stopped.
Yeah.
And he took the leap.
You weren't profitable when you merged.
No, we became super profitable. We went from like 80K to like 150K or something, and then we went down to like. But then when we went from 80K to 150K, our expenses went from 60K to 150K because we immediately hired a ton of people, hired all these distributors, overpaid because we had nothing, and we just started overpaying for everything. And our expenses were our top line was like 146, or our top line was 136. We spent 146.
What was?
And we were like, fuck.
So,
Luke's whole thing was he wanted 1 + 1 to equal 4.
Yeah, and it's not.
And it went 1 + 1 equaled 1.5.
So you're in it. You lose money that month, and you tally it up. Luke tallies it up, and
Luke did all the time.
Yeah. What's going through your head? I mean, because you don't know that it's going to go back up, but it's just like, holy shit.
Luke called me, and Luke was like, at the end of the year, like, it's too late for us to break off before Q4. He's like, yeah, I'll have to see if this was the right idea or not.
Yeah. He's calm. He's cool. He's
yeah. He's like, well, at the end of the year, we'll have to figure out if this is the right move. In my head, if this didn't work out, what was I going to go do?
Yeah.
I had no team. I had nothing.
Yeah. And
I was like, booked a flight to the next consumer brand conference. And from that phone call,
it's always what a print money button.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I think it's time to push.
I went out to LA.
Yeah.
I signed us App Lovin'.
Yeah, of course. Dude, thank you. I'm in those ads now. Thank you for bringing that into our world.
I signed us App Lovin'. I went to Roundtable. I went to Beanstalk. I went to Shopify New York.
Yeah.
And that month, we ended that month at 215,000.
Yeah.
Very profitable. The next month we did 270,000, and then next month we did 307,000.
Yeah. And that's like past 3-4 months, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's baller, dude.
I just realized, I was like, okay, the only way this works is if I go out there and get us money.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how do I go get us money?
Yeah.
And I just showed up.
Yeah.
To every mainstream e-commerce event, shook all the hands, and sold.
Yeah. It's cool that like you've done a very good job of unlocking like what you're good at and freeing up your day to basically like, I mean, you like tweet, you take sales calls, you run around in person to stuff, you like FaceTime people. Mm-hmm. You have a very playful day in like a good way.
Yeah.
Like you operate from a place of play.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And it wouldn't have happened if you didn't have a co-founder. I think about the lie. I go like, oh man, maybe I should have a co-founder. It's cool. It's very cool.
At the same time, I wouldn't trust anyone else to grow this business.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people, they'll look at my day, they'll look at, oh, what do I actually do? I am sitting here. I mean, I found our CEO.
Yeah.
I sourced and vetted our CEO. I've brought on every single client in the entire agency. I've branded us, got us not only every single client, but the biggest brands in the entire world work with our agency. And I've done all of that by operating at a place of play, at a place of fun, and at a place of going out and meeting people and selling them on Josh.
Yeah.
A lot of these brands aren't signing up to work with Street Talk or 2 or 3 Media. They're signing up to work with Josh.
Yeah.
And I just always knew like the bigger my brand got, the bigger the Street Talk would get. And the bigger Street Talk got, the bigger my brand would get. Yeah. And just leverage the two, and I couldn't lose.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. One more?
Yeah, I give you one more.
What are we halfway? Is this halftime?
Cheers.
Cheers, man.
How do you think it's going so far?
I'm having fun. You having fun?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. It's whiskey. All right. So this was another like huge decision you made that I mean, this is crazy, dude. So we're recording this basically 24 hours before you guys do a rebrand and announce a CEO that you hired. You get, I found out about this, I don't know, 4 months ago or something. or whatever. Maybe I'm not allowed to say that. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You hire the chief commercial officer of Tenuity,
Yeah.
which is an extremely large, a ridiculously large agency who one of my mentors, Jesse Pujji, started an agency called Ampush that was one of the first Facebook marketing agencies, scaled miraculously, an amazing business. Tenuity bought that. Ampush was like just a little piece that got absorbed by Tenuity. And you grab one of their executives.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you do that?
It's crazy when you say it like that. Yeah. So funny story was my family friend knew him, who I was talking to a lot when I was considering dropping out of college. And I was calling my family friend and I was like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? He's like, oh, my buddy is the head of growth, the chief commercial officer of Tenuity, the largest ad agency, privately owned ad agency in America. Let me see what he would think. And he said, I don't even know how much I could pay someone to go out and do that. I think I was doing $30K a month then. He was like, he can get his degree next year. Like,
dude, my rent's $30K a month.
Yeah. He was like, he could always go back to college. I don't know exactly what he's doing or how big it could be, but you can't just always go start another business. He's like, I think it could be really big. I think a lot of brands would really want what he's doing, and he should drop out of college. He told my family friend that he thought I should drop out of college. Yeah. My friend called me. He's like, yeah, I just talked to one of the biggest ad agencies in America. He thinks you should drop out of college and go full time. Yeah. Not only did I drop out of college, he then left Tenuity to come be my CEO a year later. Yeah. But we were friends. He was advising me. He was being an advisor. He was helping me just mitigate stress and for a long time.
And what was he good at? You hop on a call with him, and what are you talking about?
Professionalizing this, making it not just a kid in a park, but a real business. Like what that would look like, what that would need, how would I even go about doing that? Like granted, like you understand, like I just found out about Slack, right? Like making Tenuity or making Ampush, it would be like me trying to figure out how to build a rocket ship and get to land on the moon. Like that's not what I'm good at. And this is pre even like Luke and I. And he was just very kind, supportive. He believed in me so much as an entrepreneur. And we got really close. And he saw how much I loved what I was doing and how passionate I was and how fired up I was about it. And I think it comes down to why Luke joined me. He hated what he was doing. He wasn't happy. He wasn't fired up. Like that feeling of me waking up, drinking a cold brew and running around New York is what every person craves to have. Yeah. Everyone wants to be fired up at what they do and get excited and be passionate and enthusiastic and excited for the future. Most people aren't like that. And that energy is contagious. And I had that. I just didn't know how to do it. Yeah. But you couldn't convince me this wasn't $1 billion play. Yeah. And it goes down to people remember how you make them feel, and people are attracted to energy. And I was a fireball of energy. And he was like bored. He was there for 17 years. Yeah. He already made some money. He's 40. He was like, I want to feel fired up. I want to be passionate. I want to get excited. I want to go hunt. Yeah. And Luke was 27, bored, frustrated, not growing. Also just like, I want to be fired up and hunting and like wanting that, just like I will run through a wall to win. And I had that. Yeah. And a lot of them bet on that energy and that founder. And a lot of them was betting on the jockey, not the horse. Yeah. And he was like, I could put infrastructure and systems and get us corporate accounts and really sell this in a corporate way to a lot of my relationships, my connections that I've made over the last 17 years in the agency world. Yeah. Chief commercial officer, by the way. So like his job is like, he's the client guy of one of the largest agencies. Like that's the entire role. Yeah. 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 And figure out how to drive revenue. He's like, I could come in, own a big piece of the business. Like I was going to incentivize him. I'd give him equity. And he could just cross-sell it and sell it to a lot of his relationships. Yeah. And make way more money than he would at Tenuity and have way more fun getting to build a business with me in New York.
Yeah, you're very good at selling vision. And I think about do you know like the like Steve Jobs, like PepsiCo,
Yeah.
like example? Yeah, where basically like Steve Jobs goes to some whatever Pepsi executive or something and like really wants them to join and they're not gonna join. Apple's not that proven. And basically it comes down to like, do you and this is no, dig at Snooty or whatever, but like do you want to sell, sugar water for the rest of your life? Is that what you want? And that's the conversation that gets them to come over. It's the what am I doing this for? Am I doing something that like matters?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of how you got Jesse on board.
Yeah. That's how I got Luke on board. That's how I got everyone on board, was that vision and that conviction. It's conviction. People buy conviction. Whether I was selling to a client or I'm selling to a potential employee, people buy conviction because most people are waiting to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Most people are comfortable.
Yeah.
Most people are satisfied.
Yeah.
And most people want the fire, and they just don't know where to get it.
Yeah.
And if you can point and have the conviction, like this is where to go, we're going down this road, and group people together to run with you, that's the person that wins, and that's the person that takes over, and that's the person that succeeds.
Yeah.
Because I can't build this by myself, but if I can get everyone else fired up about building it, we're going to take over. And that's the job of the founder.
So you've given Jesse passion.
Yeah.
He was doing some advising work for you until he joined full time. This guy runs commercial again for one of the biggest agencies in America. What's the best piece of advice that he's given you?
Be buttoned up.
Yeah.
Button up, or like don't cross your T's, dot your I's.
In what context? Because for sales, I think that honestly would work against you. I think it's good that you're you're very good about switching in and out of, and I mean this in a very genuine way, like somebody who gets people fired up and pushes and is the guy to like, I'm just the kid, I'm passionate, and people want to like, oh, I want to help that kid. You're very good about going back and forth. So what was he saying? Be buttoned up. I wouldn't be buttoned up about the sales process. I mean, that's you. That's why it works.
Yeah,
what should be
that's like
buttoned
the
up about?
only thing that shouldn't be buttoned up.
Yeah.
Everything else needs to be buttoned up. Everything else needs to be systemized, processed, organized. People need to be W-2'd. People need to be insurance. There needs to be like a structure. There needs to be, a ranking of like who reports to, like there needs to be a business.
Yeah. And
like there needs to be, safety. There needs to be, we need to be buttoned up by like the law and a lot of things, professionalized. Yeah. Like, yeah, I can be running around like all day long sweating and closing people for a few grand, but it's not an investable business. It's not an exitable business. No, like private equity is not buying that business.
How much of the company do you own?
Right now, 50%.
In the future?
If all goes well, up to a third. I'll own a third. Yeah.
And so far, do you have conviction in that?
Into me owning a third? I hope I own a third. Yeah. Like this is like a lot of times when I told people like, oh, you're only gonna a third of like your like. Then even I'll give Jesse's credit. Like he was like, I'm okay with not being a founder. Like, he's like, if you just want me to make me CEO but not a founder, like I'm totally fine with that. And what I said to him was like, no, of course you're a founder. Like Luke, the same way Luke's a founder, you're a founder. Like the business from now to when Luke started is a different business. Yeah. And the business now for when you start to where it's going to be in 8 months is a different business. And you'll be a founder of that business. This isn't my last business. This isn't what's, this is my first business. Not only is it not my last business, this is my very first business. The bigger this business gets and the better of a team that I have, the more people know about this business, the bigger my brand's going to be, and the more successful my career as an entrepreneur is going to be by making my business as successful as possible. It's not about if I make $1 million from this business or $100 million from this business. I genuinely don't care. I want this business to succeed as much as possible with as many great people as possible and impact as many people as possible. That's what I care about, because that's going to ultimately make Josh the most successful person possible. The fact that Josh started this business at 21 years old and made it to $100 million a year business. That's what success is. Like I would rather own 20% of it and it become a $100 million business. Like a lot of founders get stuck on the equity and saying, and they get stuck. I want as many great people here as possible. And I want to build the biggest pie humanly possible. Because by doing so, every aspect of my life will be easier and better. And delegate, what I'm not good at.
Yeah.
Like my life has gotten increasingly happy. Like I'm happier, more energized, I'm just a better person and happier person. More equity I've given up.
What do you want out of your business? Like, what is this business, or you just doing businesses in general, a vehicle for? And I'll give you some examples really fast. You and I have a friend where I think if you really got down to the nitty-gritty for him, he has a like bad relationship with his dad. And I think that like a lot of what he does, why he does what he does is like, I can do anything. I can be so great. And my dad he's never going to approve. And he's constantly, fighting for that little by little. Why do you do it?
I really want to inspire people. Like I'm not anything special. Like I'm not, your straight A kid. Like I wasn't like, I just want to show like, I was a goldfish trying to climb the tree and everyone else was climbing the tree. And like, I was a fish, like fish don't climb trees, but you put a fish in the ocean and that fish is going to swim. And I just want to show people like, it's like, you can be successful. You can, but like, you have to find your ocean. Like you have to find what I can, a fish can swim faster than a monkey. And you as a person, you get placed into like, this is how to climb a tree. This is a branch. This is a branch doesn't matter to a fish. A fish doesn't give a fuck about a branch. Most people, they get put in an assembly line. This is math, reading, writing. This is a job. This is college, and like there's this structure. And I think the internet's allowed us to see, that most people don't know anything. That everything is basically just made up for you to follow the rules and get in line and get enough food so you're not starving and get paid enough so you can pay the rent so you're not on the street and just always be like just enough to be okay. And you can find something that you're really good at and succeed and succeed far past your wildest dreams. And I think I have a really good story to that. And I think I'm a testament to, finding a vehicle that I could be really successful in. And I'm going to be as successful as humanly possible in that vehicle and blow past all the people that got A's and played it rules and played safe and fall and, did what they're told.
Yeah. So you're saying you weren't doing what you were told at first. Like people, if they looked at you when you were 13, 15, 18, they wouldn't think that you would succeed.
No.
Why not?
I was just, I was super energetic, but there's no order. There's like, you think to succeed, you need to be organized and follow the rules and study. And like, I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
Why would that person succeed?
Yeah.
If that person can't even study for a test.
Yeah.
You think success is getting into Warren, right? I failed at a 2-1.
Yeah.
Like, why would that person become a billionaire?
Yeah.
But
I thought success was getting into Wharton. Dude, there's so much.
That's not success.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the starting line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even. I would rather hire the kid out of Syracuse who dropped out to build a streaming business than the kid that went to Warren any day of the week.
Yeah.
So it's all about personality. It's all about energy.
You wouldn't hire me.
I wouldn't hire your straight A kid that went to Warren that's never, it's never been punched in the face.
Yeah.
Like street interviewing is a great model for life. Like you get rejected, but you just have to keep turning the corner, keep going to the next person because that might be your golden reaction that becomes a winning ad. But most people can't just get rejected over and over and over and over again, still be smiling and energetic, come back the next day, come back the next day, come back the next day. Most people just can't do that.
Yeah. What do your parents think of all this?
They're supportive now.
Yeah.
The Wall Street Journal was pretty cool.
And were supportive before?
The Wall Street Journal was like, okay, like,
yeah,
this is real.
Yeah.
They were not that supportive. They didn't really think it was a business. They were just like, oh, like Josh is a cute kid and people are paying him a couple grand to make some videos. They didn't really think it was like a reason to drop out of college.
Yeah. How did that make you feel in the beginning?
I just wanted to prove everyone wrong. I was your special ed kid. Like I was learning to read with kids that had autism that couldn't read. Like,
Yeah.
It was like me, a fully autistic kid that could barely put English together and words together. A kid that literally couldn't do 2 + 2.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to like it was like me.
It's too late.
Fully, like a full autistic kid. Like I don't think you guys are like fully autistic.
Yeah.
Another fully autistic kid.
Yeah.
And like we're all learning to read together.
Yeah. You were in special ed, basically.
I was in special ed.
Yeah.
And it was like how like what person looks at like the kids in special ed their senior year of high school and thinks they're gonna go be a billionaire.
From special ed to, I asked you to send me a couple, like, what I call Mount Everest memories. Things where you're just like, I just climbed the fucking mountain. I can do anything from this year. My First Million. Tell me about that. How did you get put on that show, shouted on that show? How did you find out about it? What were you feeling?
I joined Hampton.
Yeah.
And
do you want to link a referral?
Yeah.
When you're here.
Alex reached out, to enjoy. And again, it's just like one of those things that like I'm very good at being the underdog and getting people to root for me and want to help me. And and again, like that's not something that's like, hey, this is how you pronounce a word. It's not something that's like a tangible thing of like, here's how you learn to do.
But how did you do it with Sam? Like, what were your interactions with Sam prior to him?
Nothing. I know
shouting
nothing.
on
I
the
didn't
show?
know who he was.
Yeah. Did you guys exchange messages at all?
Nothing.
Oh.
I really just shared my story.
Yeah.
And he said that he loved the story. And I'd known My First Million. I'd never met him. And he wouldn't know who I was. Like we never met each other. Like I knew who Hampton was. I knew who he was. Like I knew he was, obviously a big deal.
Yeah.
But I didn't know him at all.
Yeah.
Shared my story in the intro. He loved it. But he fired him up.
Yeah.
Again, because it goes back to me being really good at firing people up.
In the intro.
When you intro into Hampton.
Okay.
Like when you
Slack message.
It's
you're
Slack
going
message
through
the whole Hampton group.
Okay.
And it lit up. Everyone's like, this is the coolest business. Hell yeah. This was sick. Yeah. And he took it upon himself to shout me out My First Million. He came up to me that event.
Yeah.
And was like, I just gave you a sick shout out of My First Million. And I was like, I didn't really know. He was like, make sure your sales counter is like ready to go. Like, make sure he's like, it's gonna generate you a lot of leads.
Yeah.
It did. Generate me a ton of leads.
Yeah. What did that look like? So I remember I was with you at the event when you were talking with Sam, and it was like the day after. And so like our text chat obviously was like blowing out with like our group of buddies. What was happening for you that day? Walk me through that day. You get up. What happens next?
I was pumped. I didn't really know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I was like, the Wall Street Journal generated me like 5 leads.
Yeah.
And like that's the cover. I was on the cover of the CMO Today Wall Street Journal. Like,
yeah.
You would think that was generating me a million leads.
How many from MFM if you had to guess?
50, 60.
50.
Yeah. More. Yeah. Probably generated me 70 to 100 grand.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
It's the power of being in somebody's ear, right? I mean, they have like such influence. The audience is it's big and it's extremely strong. It's very deep. It's both. Yeah.
And it was right as our CEO was joining. It was just kind of everything was firing together. It was like CEOs joining, rebrand's about to pop. My First Million launch. I was on Brett's podcast like a few weeks before that.
Brett Malinowski.
Yeah.
Awesome podcast.
And it was just like, it was so nice of Sam. It was so humbling.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful. And he's such a good guy. And now we're friends and we text. And he loves what I'm doing. And he's so supportive. And I don't really know how to thank him. I don't really like, and it's hard to, I think the only way to thank someone like Sam like that is just to go be wildly successful and to credit him to helping you succeed.
Yeah.
I think and that's what I told him. Like, or I didn't say this directly, but Sam's super successful. He's a multi-millionaire. He sold his company. He's
50 mil.
Yeah. He, knows everyone. Nothing you can get him that he can't get. There's no person I can connect him to that he can't get connected to. The best thank is me go sell this thing for $100 million and go be really successful and be a good person and be a good member of Hampton, refer people to Hampton, and just tip my hat to him. Like, hey, like you helped me when I was small and when I was grinding, when I was hustling. And if you, your friend, your kids, your whatever, ever need anything, I'm in your corner and I'll have your back.
Yeah. You met Jake Paul and Jesse Itzler.
Yeah.
Within 24 hours of each other.
Yeah. Within an hour of each other.
Within an hour of each other. How does that happen?
Again, that's just persistence and fucking grit. I showed up to their house like a madman and just didn't leave.
So you fly down to, what is it, Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you go, so Jake lives in a gated community. I mean, you can't like, you're not, the purpose of the community is to not let people in who shouldn't be in. You go in.
The purpose of the community is to not let what happened happen.
How do you get in, dude?
I dress super well.
Yeah. First time ever.
I dressed like $1 billion
Yeah.
and got lucky.
Yeah.
And just
You show up to the gate?
showed up to the gate.
What do you tell the guy?
In a nice Uber.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I gave a fake name.
Yeah.
We're going to go see them.
Yeah.
I was like, do you know if it's left or to the right? There you go. Straight to the left. I'll open up the gate. Open the gate. Went to the next thing. There's 2 gates.
Yeah.
Right on through. Now we are in. Now I need to find where Jake lived.
Yeah.
I just asked people around, which one's Jake's?
It's good. It's good.
That one. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
And I waited there for 4 hours, so we came outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You came in what, like a golf cart or something?
Yeah, he just came walking around in the golf cart. I was like, hey! And ran out, and he kept driving. I was like, and then he didn't stop for me, and I was running.
Yeah.
And he realized he wasn't stopping, then he realized I wasn't stopping. I was like, I'm either gonna hunt you down, I'm gonna run faster than your golf cart, or you're gonna stop and talk to me.
Yeah.
And he stopped and talked to me, and he loved it.
Yeah.
And then he followed me back on Twitter.
You got a selfie?
I got a selfie.
Yeah.
He followed me on Twitter after. He commented on my Twitter post.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you met Jesse the same day, an hour later
And then
at a hotel.
I dabbed up Jake, turned around, Jesse was walking out, and I was like, hey!
Dude, both of these guys are super inspiring people. You've talked about them before. I remember like we knew each other a couple months in, and I asked you like, who inspires you the most? And these were both 2 of your top 5.
Yeah.
What about them inspires you?
Just,
What do you look up to in people? What do you admire?
they just have so much grit.
Yeah.
They've overcome so much.
Yeah.
They built something from nothing. And they've used relationships and their personality and their ideas to build empires.
Yeah.
Like they're not, the best coder. They're not the best engineer. They're not the best mathematician. They're the best visionaries, marketers, and people person. Likable. And they get people to buy into them and what they want. And I think that's the most important skill set for a founder. Everything else you can hire.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, you actually sent me 3 people that you're grateful for. The first one you sent me was Matt Epstein, our buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me Oliver Bricado, and Luke, your co-founder.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thing you're most grateful for from Matt?
Matt really put me on. I wouldn't be here without him. He, took me from a kid that knew nothing and showed me what a payment processor was, what Slack was, what creative strategy meant, what direct response marketing was, what UGC, like just really showed me what the hell was behind the curtain and how to be and how to think, and invited me to his house, made me not feel lonely, got me to drop out of college, just really had my back in ways that, I would not have seen or done for myself.
Yeah. I've been at the gym so many times, especially in the early days when you would call him freaking out about something that happened in the business. It was all going to die. It was all going to blow up tomorrow. And he gave you some brotherly love. It was tough love.
Tough love.
He was not.
It's
a lot of cuss words in that love.
Yeah, he was just screaming at me. Yeah, I'm like scared. I still am. Like our launch video tomorrow. Like he was the last person I showed.
Yeah,
I was just like, you're gonna say something nice. Like you're gonna say something nice, and I show up. He's just like, this sucks.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck.
But you need that.
Yeah,
you need that.
It's just terrible.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Oliver, what are you most grateful for from Oliver Bricado?
Matt took me from like 0.5 to 10.
Yeah.
Oliver took me from -10 to 0.5.
Yeah.
Like I was really going up to go work in corporate America. That's what I thought the world meant. And
Yeah.
like, I had an internship, and I was like, I believed the Kool-Aid and believed that like this is how the world was. And Oliver showed me that there's more to life.
Yeah.
And believed in me. Introduced me to Matt. I wouldn't even know Matt without Oliver. And convinced me to quit my internship to believe in myself.
Yeah.
And has obviously been a great friend, introduced me to people, and he's had my back. So, anyways,
Yeah. Luke.
taking a bet on a fucking kid that could barely brush his teeth, but saw something in me, and has been nothing but supportive and kind, and just built the business behind me, like just built an engine for Josh to go out and sell.
Yeah. Yeah. The last 12, 18 months of my life, I think as part of the why I moved back to New York, but was for like, I knew Matt a little bit, but I want a community of like founders, you know? And I think it's so important to obsess. You talk about the world like conspiring in your favor. Like you have to, part of that's a good idea to have. Part of it's like kind of, you have to fucking take it by the neck, and like everything that you do, in my opinion, has to serve what you're trying to do. You know, I moved back to New York. I moved across the street from my, one of my best friends to be around that. I moved near to you guys, and like all my content. And I'd say yours is the same way with Twitter, like indoctrinates you to believe you can do it. The people around you indoctrinate you to believe that everything is possible, anything is possible. We got an office together, I think, and a large part of that. Yeah, I think
we're gonna go so much farther together.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate your friendship. I'm pumped for us to do this office together. I think we're all very early in this game.
Yeah, we're super early.
Yeah. And I'm pumped
It's
to.
be cool to see where we all go.
Yeah, dude. We're in it for 20, 30 years. This is the game. And I appreciate you doing this with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Ugh.
2025. It's a wrap.
Let's go.
That's the pod.
Hell yeah.
Woo.